the International Association of Coaching. Home of the Coaching Masteries.
Hola a todos, donde quiera que se encuentren
Hello, everyone,
hoy,
wherever you
conectados
are
con
today,
nosotros, o a todos ustedes que van a
connected
ver
with us,
esta
or all of
transmisión en
you who will
diferido en
be
el canal
seeing
oficial
this
de YouTube de
broadcast
IAC,
in our
bienvenidos
official
a nuestro
IAC
quinto
YouTube
día
channel.
de Quo
Welcome
Vadis
to our
Coaching.
fifth day
Hoy es un
of
día
Quo
de
Vadis Coaching.
celebración,
Today
un día en el
is a
cual
day
vamos a
of
estar
celebration, a day where
cumpliendo
we will
con
be
nuestra cultura
uh,
de reconocimiento y sobre
fulfilling
todo
our
en lo
culture
particular
of recognition and
reconociendo a las personas
particularly
que han hecho
recognizing the people
un
that have made
aporte
a
significativo y trascendente a la
significant
IAC.
contribution and a transcendental one towards
También es día de
IAC.
nuestra asamblea anual.
Today is also
Desde
the
hace
day of
3
our
años,
annual
gracias a la
assembly
iniciativa de
for the
nuestra
past 3 years,
past
thanks
president,
to
la
the
señora
initiative of our
Anjali
past
Nair.
president,
Es
Miss
un evento
Anjali Nair.
público,
This
abierto a
is a
todos
public
los
event
miembros,
open for all of our
aportando
members,
transparencia a
providing
la gestión
transparency
ejecutiva de esta
to
organización.
the executive
Estamos
management of this
culminando Quo
organization.
Vadis Coaching hoy.
We are
Pero
closing Quo
quiero
Vadis
iniciar
coaching
esta
today,
transmisión sin
and
expresar mi
I don't want to start
felicitación y
this
reconocimiento a
broadcast
todo el
without
equipo
expressing my
que hizo
heartfelt
posible este
recognition
esfuerzo.
and congratulations to the
He
team that
sido
made this effort
testigo de
possible.
primera fila del
I have
compromiso,
been
la
a
energía
first-hand
y la
witness of the
dedicación
commitment,
entregados a
the
este
energy,
evento.
and dedication
Pero
delivered
sobre
towards this
todo,
event, but
observar la
particularly
mística de trabajo sobre la
observing
que
that
este equipo ha
work
desarrollado
mystique that this
su
team has
función y ha
uh,
desarrollado la posibilidad
developed for
de
his
ofrecernos este
this
evento.
possibility of
Incontables horas de
offering us
trabajo
this event.
enfrentando los desafíos propios de
Countless
estos
hours of work,
eventos,
facing
incluso a
the
última hora,
sort of challenges you
conectando un
face with this
equipo
event,
global
even right now,
comprometido, claro y
connecting
fiel.
a
Entonces
global team
quiero
with a clear and
nombrarlos a cada
firm
uno de ellos
objective.
con
So I
especial
want to
afecto y cariño.
name each of them with a
Comienzo
special
nombrando a la
affection
señora
and
Carla
care.
Cofiño, que
I'll start
lideró el
naming
equipo de
Miss Carla
comunicaciones
Cofinho,
con
who led the
calma,
communications
intensidad y
team.
mucha energía,
With calm
coordinó
intensity and a
todo lo
lot of energy,
relacionado con
she coordinated
creatividad,
everything
contenido y
related to
redes.
creativity
Gracias,
of the
Carla.
content and
A la
social
señora
media.
Betsy
Thank you, Carla.
Martínez del Cross
Miss Betsy
Committee
Martinez from the
y
Cross
Eventos,
Committee
apoyando a
and
Marcela
events,
Bermúdez, quien a partir de ahora
supporting
asumirá el
Marcela
liderazgo de
Bermudez, who
eventos y
from now on will
learning
take the leadership
circles
of
de
events and
IAC. Betsy también
learning
coordinó el día
circles for
4 de Quo
IAC.
Vadis Coaching que disfrutamos
Betsy
ayer.
also coordinated day 4
Gracias,
of Quo
Betsy.
Vadis coaching
Gracias,
enjoyed
Marcela.
yesterday.
Al señor
Thank
Brian
you,
French,
Betsy, and
quien
thank you, Marcela.
coordinó con el Comité de
Mr. Brian French,
Sostenibilidad el
who
día
was
3 de
coordinating
Quo
along
Vadis
with the
Coaching. Y
Sustainability
ahora quiero
Committee the day
mencionar
3 of
al
Quo Vadis
equipo de
coaching.
héroes
And
anónimos,
now I want
las
to
personas
mention
que
the
trabajan tras
anonymous
las
heroes,
cámaras y
those that work
quienes,
behind the
sin su
cameras,
ayuda,
and
nada de
those
esto hubiese
without
sido
whom
posible.
none of this would
Dos
have been
personas muy
possible.
especiales,
Two very
José
special
Parra
people,
desde el Comité de Tecnología,
Dice
haciendo
Parra
posible todo
from
el
the
soporte
Technology
técnico
Committee,
y de
making
comunicaciones para que
sure that
todo
all
funcionara a la
the
perfección.
communications and technical support
Gleyber
would work
Linares,
flawlessly.
coordinando todo lo que
Glaber
ocurre tras
Linares
el telón,
coordinating
tras
everything
bastidores.
behind the curtain.
Gracias, Gigi. Gracias,
Thank you,
Gleyber.
Gigi.
El
Thank you,
señor Tomás
Glabers.
Lozada, responsable del diseño
Mr. Tomás
gráfico de
Lozada,
nuestras
responsible for the
campañas.
graphic design of our
Y
campaigns.
a Juan Carlos Medina,
And Juan
Guillermo
Carlos
Moraes y
Medina,
Osvaldo
Guillermo
Parra,
Moraes, and
nuestros
Osvaldo
asistentes
Parra,
virtuales. A
our
ustedes,
virtual
amigos,
assistants.
gracias.
To all of you, my friends,
Queridos
thank you.
amigos, les pido a todos que nos
Dear
acompañen
friends,
con un
I want
aplauso
to ask you all
sentido
to
y
join us with
cariñoso
a
para este
heartfelt
equipo como
applause,
un reconocimiento
with
a
a lot
quienes
of love for this
merecido
team, with
por
a
su
very well
trabajo,
deserved
por su dedicación y por su
recognition for
esfuerzo.
their work, for their dedication, and their
Gracias
efforts.
una vez más.
Thank you once
Hoy
again.
debo confesar que
Today,
estoy especialmente
I have to
emocionado.
confess that I'm particularly
En
excited.
este día vamos a entregar los
On
premios
this
del
day, we're going to
presidente.
deliver the
Un
President
momento que
Awards,
además pienso
a
disfrutar al
moment
máximo.
that I also
Primero,
plan to enjoy
porque
at the
forma parte
max.
de la cultura
First,
de
because it's
reconocimiento
part
al
of the
voluntariado que
recognition
existe en la
culture
IAC.
of volunteering that we
Uno de
have in
los valores
IAC,
más importantes de nuestra
one of the
institución.
most
Y
important values of
segundo,
our
porque
institution. And
sueño que
secondly,
esto se
because
convierta en una
I
fuente de
dream that this
inspiración
will
para los
become a
líderes
source of
emergentes de
inspiration
IAC.
for
No por
emerging
el
leaders in IAC,
reconocimiento en sí,
not due
sino
to
por
the
el legado.
recognition itself,
Las personas
but
que vamos a
due to the
reconocer
legacy.
hoy
The
han
people that we're going to
construido un
recognize today
legado,
have built
son
a
parte del
legacy.
legado de la
They
IAC,
are part of the legacy
un
of
legado con
IAC,
impacto trascendente.
a legacy
Tocaron a
with
la
a transcendental
organización
impact.
porque primero
They touch
tocaron
the
los corazones
organization
de
because
quienes
they
las
first
integramos.
touch the hearts of those that
Trabajaron con humildad,
make up the organization.
paciencia,
They work with
mucha
humility,
paciencia y sobre
patience,
todo con
a lot
visión
of
y
patience,
sabiduría.
and particularly with
Para
vision
mí es un
and
privilegio
wisdom.
enorme
For me, it's an enormous pleasure to make this day the day of recognition for the president. A day that I'll remember as one of the most significant and exciting ones in IAC. We'll start with our first recognition. Not many in the world can combine the word love with tenacity and persistence as she does. Her love for IAC led her to take on extraordinary challenges and critical responsibilities in critical moments. Not only did she do it well, but she started a transformation process in our financial area, an evolution that allows us to say today, loud and clear, that we are a solid, stable institution with an undeniable future projection. My dear friends, on behalf of the Board of Governors, the BOG, the Executive Committee, and on behalf of all the IAC members, it is an honor to present the President's Award for 2025 to Miss Martha Pasternack. Dear Martha, the stage of Quo Vadis coaching is yours.
Thank you so much, Guilian. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. It just...
Esa hermosa presentación, ¿sabes?
I'm very grateful. Grateful for
Estoy
each
muy
and every one
agradecida,
of you.
agradecida por cada uno y cada una de ustedes.
And grateful for having the
Y
opportunity to serve
agradecida por tener la
the
oportunidad de servir
IAC
a la
throughout
IAC
this many years.
a lo
I
largo
look
de
forward to seeing
todos estos
growth
años. Espero con ansias ver el
years to
crecimiento
come.
en los años venideros.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gracias, gracias y gracias.
Thank you, Martha, and I'm glad to have this opportunity.
Gracias, Marta, y me alegra tener esta oportunidad de ofrecer de parte de la IAC este reconocimiento para ti.
And right now,
Thank you.
Y en este momento,
I have the privilege
en este momento tengo el privilegio de reconocer
an extraordinary woman.
a una mujer extraordinaria.
Oh, I realize I'm talking in English. Okay.
Acabo de darme cuenta que estaba hablando en inglés.
Voy a reconocer ahora a una persona
I'm going to
cuyo
recognize
liderazgo
now
es
someone
indiscutible.
whose leadership is undeniable.
Una persona cuya capacidad de
A person
influir es
whose capacity of
profundamente
influence is
y
deeply
quiero
inspiring.
decir que es una
And
de las
I want to
personas
say
que
that
más
is
ha
one of the
influido en mi
people who
trayectoria
has
dentro de la IAC.
most influenced my trajectory in
Además,
IAC. Also,
tengo que reconocer que
I have to recognize
durante mi
that
periodo de 2 años como
during
presidente
my
que está por
2-year
terminar,
period as a
todas
president
las
that's
veces
about
que
to
tuve
end,
la necesidad de
all
pedir
those times that
un
I had the
consejo,
need to ask
de
for
pedir una
advice,
opinión o
to ask for an
simplemente
opinion, or to
de
simply
poder intercambiar ideas para clarificar mis
exchange ideas
pensamientos,
to
es una
clarify
persona
my
que siempre
thoughts,
estuvo allí.
she's a person that was
Y
always
eso me
there
ha determinado a tener la
and
misma
that has
posición con el
determined to
futuro
have
presidente de
the
la
same
IAC.
position with the future
Estoy hablando de una
president of
persona
IAC.
cuya capacidad de
I'm talking
influir es
about a person
profundamente
whose capacity of
inspiradora y
influence is
durante
deeply
5 años hemos
inspiring.
trabajado juntos
And
como
for
equipo en la
5
IAC.
years, we've worked together as a team
Y
in
debo
IAC.
confesar que siempre
And I have
aprecié
to
su gestión
confess that
emocional, su capacidad de
I
planificación
always
y su extraordinaria capacidad de ejecución. Muy por
enjoyed
encima
her
del
great
promedio
capacity
de
of
un
execution
de un ejecutivo de
and
alto
her
desempeño. Sus contribuciones a los comités de
emotional
certificación y
management.
tecnología han
Her
sido
contributions to the
determinantes y sin
certification
duda
technology
es una
committees have been
embajadora del
essential. Undoubtedly,
espíritu
she's an
de la
ambassador
IAC.
of the
Mis
IAC
queridos
spirit.
amigos, en este momento
My dear
me
friends, at this
honro y
point,
tengo
I
el
am honored
privilegio
and I have the privilege
de entregar
of
el premio del
delivering
presidente
the President's Award
2025
for
a la señora
2025 to
Anjali
Miss
Nair.
Anjali Nair.
Anjali.
Anjali.
Thank you. Thank you for such touching words, Guilian. And I think the feeling is mutual. Truly honored and thrilled to receive this. This is really special to me. It's not just a milestone. It's more like a reminder of this incredible journey and extraordinary souls that I've had the privilege to walk besides. And definitely an inspiration to continue contributing to IAC in every way possible and to the field of coaching. It's more special to receive this in presence of people that I truly cherish and hold so dear to me. And Martha, my dear friend, warms up my heart to share this with you. I see this moment more as a celebration of the relationships that we value, of the professional growth that we continue to hold on to as a community, and definitely a passion to bring IAC's vision to life every day, as we say, one conversation at a time. So there is this journey, like Guilian, you said, from a volunteer to being able to serve IAC. I think it's an experience that really molds you, shapes you, and makes you open up to so many more possibilities. So this goes beyond milestones that we've had created together, or structures and support, all of this. What I carry forward is deep gratitude to the dreams that we shaped together, to the lifelong friendships that truly warms up the heart and soul. There's so many instances, so many memories for me through this journey. I think I've been blessed to work alongside such talented, sincere, generous people. They say work with people who are better than you, and I think I've been blessed with that. Just like life takes turns, twists and turns, and throws up surprises, IAC journey has been the same as well. While I was supposed to step into this role in 2024, I stepped in 2 years early, and I don't think this would have been possible without the support of such a fantastic committees, board of governors. And I have to give a special mention to the EXCO team, the one that truly held that space. Guilian, Catherine, Martha, I think and the newer members joined in. But the four of us, I think, for 2 years, there are times I feel we spoke more to each other than to our own families. The long conversations, challenging each other, and supporting each other. So I think this is an incredible, incredible moment, and I'll cherish it throughout my life. Thank you all once again.
Gracias a ti, Anjali. Y quiero decir que esta
Thank you,
oportunidad de
Anjali. And I want to say that this
reconocerlas a ti, Marta,
opportunity
y a
of
ti,
recognizing you
Anjali,
both,
es un recuerdo que va a estar
you, Marta,
conmigo
and
toda la
Anjali,
vida.
is a memory that will be with me for my whole life.
Y bueno, queridos amigos,
And we're,
miembros
my
de
dear
la
friends
IAC,
and members of
del Board
IAC,
of Governors de
of
EXCO,
the Board of
el próximo
Governors
1 de
of
enero de
EXCO,
2026,
next
me
January
corresponde entregar la presidencia de la
1st of
IAC.
2026, I
El tiempo
have
pasa
to
muy rápido.
hand over my IAC
Hoy,
presidency.
mientras me
Time
preparaba
goes
un
by
poco para
very
esta
quickly.
reunión,
Today I was preparing a
estuve
little bit for
recordando
this
dónde
meeting,
nació mi
and I
amor
was
por esta
remembering
institución.
where my love for this institution was
En un
born.
salón de clase, estudiando en una escuela
In a
acreditada de la
classroom,
IAC,
studying in an accredited IAC school,
porque tenía la idea
because I had the
de
idea
estudiar coaching
that
para ayudar a mi
I would study
hijo
coaching to
a
help my
lograr
son
su sueño de ser un
to achieve
jugador
his
de
dream of being
béisbol
a
profesional.
professional baseball
Y
player,
un maestro llamado Miguel Roldán,
and a teacher
cuyo
called Miguel
vibraba de
Roldan,
voz cuando hablaba de las maestrías de
whose
coaching
voice
y
vibrated
cuando hablabas de Thomas
when he
Leonard y
talked
cuando
about
hablaba de la IAC,
coaching masteries and Thomas
me
Leonard and
inspiró
IAC,
a tratar de
inspired
entender
me
de qué se
to
trataba
try
la
to
IAC.
understand what IAC was
También
about.
recordé mi primer contacto con el
I also remembered
capítulo
my first contact with the
de Venezuela,
Venezuela
mi
chapter,
amado país,
my beloved country.
y recordé haber escrito un
And
correo
I
electrónico
remember having written an email where I expressed my desire to be a member of IAC. And the answer came back in 30 minutes. Carlos Raul Villanueva, who wrote that email, told me, he wrote this phrase for me. IAC is a home with open doors. And from this point onward, you're welcome. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk, and I'll guide you in your first steps. With time, I was the one who was opening that door because in time I became the Venezuela chapter leader. In time, I was able to certify myself with IAC. It was a dream for me to be certified as a coach by IAC. To my surprise, I was the first coach to do that in South America. Now over 100 people have done it. With time, Pepe del Rio, Sean Morte invited me to become the global chapters leader and then a member leader of global memberships. With time, I was invited to the Board of Governors of IAC. After some time, I was invited to Exco, and after some time, in just a few weeks, I'll be part and make one of the most important functions of this organization, the constant renewal. Few institutions in the world of coaching, every 2 years, renew the presidency. Okay? And every 2 years, a new person is elected to continue with the mission and vision of IAC. If you ask me today, I never imagined that I would go through this very significant journey. In 2 years, my eyes have been set on trying to build bridges that allow us to connect with new emerging leadership in IAC, that we can continue renewing, that new generations of coaches assumed the path of this organization, and that together, humanity can remember that we're, above all, human beings. Yesterday, when we were hearing the panel of day 4, talking about the society of tiredness and how we come like robots as human beings, I was thinking about how impactful is our profession when we do it from our heart. And I think that's the most important thing. My commitment will be to continue working on this organization over the next year as past president and support the executive committee from a simple premise. How may I help? Where can I contribute? I have said, jokingly, but with a serious undertone, that January 1st of 2026, the average exco age will significantly drop. At this point, I just want to thank everyone for your learning, your support, and your kindness with me. Since January 2026, we'll have a renewed and younger exco led by a charismatic woman that's sensitive, highly professional, and very decisive. Today, I want to introduce to the IAC community our president-elect, Ms. Ingrid Rosenberg. Ingrid, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Guilian, for this introduction. I don't know about that age thing. I don't know. But definitely, it's gonna be an honor. So what I wanna say today is comes from my heart. I worked on this during the week. And first, I want to say thank you to all this global community. It is both really an honor and but also a profound responsibility to be here before you today. As I prepare for the presidency of the International Association of Coaching on January 1st, I am humbled by the trust that IAC has placed in me, and deeply inspired by what we can accomplish together. As I step into this role, I want to share that this presidency is not a change of direction. It is a continuation of a long-term strategy that our current president and the executive committee we have been building together for the past 3 years with the support of the Board of Governors and with the implication of these two excellent professionals as Anjali and Martha who have been recognized today. At EXCO, we have been crafting a strategy that supports our global presence, that promotes our standards, and empowers our members and protects the essence of coaching in a rapidly shifting world. I am committed to carrying that work forward with respect, authenticity, and focused intention. But I also come with a personal aspiration, one that I hope will become a shared aspiration during the coming years for all of you. I want every member, every coach, every friend of the IAC to reconnect with the uniqueness of this organization. The IAC is not simply another credentialing body. We are something fundamentally different, and here are 6 reasons why. First, we are like a family, a place where everybody knows your name, and a place where sharing our understanding of the masteries is done in a safe space. Second, we're a volunteer-led organization. This is unique to us, and although it has its challenges, it is definitely also our strength. The IAC is one of the clearest global examples of how volunteer-led organizations can be successful and provide value to the world. And if you have actually volunteered at IAC, I know that you have felt the energy when we come all together to co-create, like today, or when we achieve wonderful results as this week's Quo Vadis coaching, which has been possible only thanks to the passion of more than 50 volunteers. That is incredible if you think about it. Third, we are an inclusive organization, and this is very unique to us. Our accredited schools do a great job teaching the masteries, and their students have an opportunity to live through the certification process, probably with more understanding of the 9 masteries than other coaches when they first come. However, we do not close doors, as Guilian just said. We open them to all current coaches, to accredited school students, or self-learners of the coaching practice. This is part of our essence, is what makes this organization rich in diversity and inclusion. Fourth, we are the guardians of a proven global standard. You need only to hire an IAC Master coach or an IAC Certified coach to know that you're in the presence of masterful coaching. We have a key main, the fifth is that we have a key main objective, which is our certification. Our certification process is the reason why IAC exists. Certified coaches can be proud that the world will know that they have achieved a certification which has a globally accepted standard. And last but not least, we're different because of our coaching masteries. Our 9 masteries guide coaches across cultures. They unite us as we're here today in a shared commitment to personal transformation, ethical practice, and human development. In the years ahead, our commitment, myself and EXCO, is to make this more visible, more accessible, and more valuable to every one of our members. We want coaches from newcomers to seasoned professionals to understand the significance of being certified with the IAC, not simply as a credential to display, but as a profound statement of who they are and how they serve. Because when we certify a coach, we are not only validating a technique, we are honoring their mastery, and we are acknowledging their capacity to create deep, sustainable change in human lives. As we enter now this new era in which technology accompanies us more closely than ever, our responsibility has grown. The world needs coaches who are compassionate, skilled, reflective, aware, and certified. And the IAC is uniquely positioned to help you achieve that standard through global collaboration, through the certification, and through all of our global programs, like ETCM or Global Trials, to name a few. To all current members, volunteers, chapters, leaders, and friends of the IAC, I want to say thank you. Your passion, your commitment, and your trust all sustain this organization. And as incoming president, I will work every day to honor the trust. I invite you to walk with me to continue building a community where certification is a symbol of integrity, where the master is guide or evolution, and where every coach feels seen, supported, and inspired. Together, we will continue shaping the future of coaching. Together, we will ensure that excellence remains our legacy. And together, beyond technology, beyond borders, beyond differences, we will continue empowering the world through conscious and masterful coaching. Thank you for this incredible honor. Thank you for being part of this journey. And thank you for believing in the unique vision of the IAC.
Gracias a ti, Ingrid. Felicitaciones.
Thank
Y
you,
al mismo
Ingrid.
tiempo,
Congratulations. And
nuestra
at the same
palabra de
time,
apoyo y de
our
soporte
words
para
of
tus
support
próximos años de gestión.
for your
Déjame
next
decirte
2
algo que
years
aprendí en el camino.
in
Los 2 años pasan tan rápido y hay
charge.
tantas cosas que queremos
Something I
hacer
learned on the way
que
is
a
2
veces
years
podemos
pass
sentirnos
so quickly,
frustrados, pero
and
al
there's so
mismo
many things
tiempo
we want to
va a
do,
ser
but sometimes we
un
might feel
tiempo de gran
frustrated, but at the same time,
aprendizaje y
it'll
de
be a time
gran
for great
desarrollo
learning
para
and
ti y
great
para las personas
development
que vas a tener la
for you and
oportunidad
for
de
those
trabajar
that
con
will
ellos
have
y
the
de trabajar con
opportunity of
nosotros.
working with you
¿Ok?
touch
Y
their hearts.
adelante.
And
See,
go ahead.
and you know, when I heard you talk about how your process to become president was, I was remembering mine, and it started back in 2017 when Betsy called me to join IAC Costa Rica, and it has been a wonderful road. And I think volunteering yourself is one of the most rewarding things anyone can do. So just wanted to say that.
Yo creo que hay algo que podemos internalizar y
I
realizar al
think there's
mismo tiempo,
something we
que
can
es
take in and analyze at the
cómo
same time.
esta casa de puertas
And
abiertas
that's
también es
how
un
this
proceso
house with open doors is
de
also a process of
entregar a otros la oportunidad que nosotros
giving
tuvimos.
others
Cada
the
uno de nosotros
opportunity that we
siembra
had. Each of us
semillas y después vemos los frutos.
plant seeds and then we see the
Entonces,
fruit. So
yo ahora recordaba mi
I
primera reunión
was
con
remembering my
Sean,
first meeting
hablando
with
de cómo nos íbamos
Sean,
a tratar
talking about how we would
de
try
organizar para
to
trabajar juntos en
organize
capítulos
to work together in chapters.
y es
And
una carrera de relevos, donde
it's
cada
a
uno
relay
va
race where each one
trayendo lo que
is
tiene, pero además
bringing
empoderando a
what they
otros a
have,
hacer lo
but
mismo y
also
es
empowering
fantástico.
others to do the
Creo
same
que
thing.
cuando
And
esto
it's
pasa así,
fantastic. I think that when
creamos
this
esos lazos
happens
invisibles
in
que
this way, we
finalmente
create
generan la
invisible bonds
cohesión
that in
y
the end
generan
create that
eh,
cohesion and
eso que tantas veces decimos que IAC es una
this that
familia.
we so often say
Bueno, en
that
las
IC is
familias
a family.
hay
Well,
amor, hay
in
cariño, a veces
families,
hay
there's love, there's care,
conversaciones difíciles, a
there's difficult
veces nos
conversations.
levantamos de mal humor,
Sometimes
pero
we get up,
finalmente las
wake up with a
familias
bad mood, but in the end,
toman el pulso de las
families
situaciones y salen adelante. Y
uh,
yo creo que
look
eso es lo
into the
que
situations and
termina por
continue moving
pasar y
forth.
creo que
And I think
hace
that's
una
what ends up
diferencia enorme.
happening, and I think it makes a
Así
huge
que,
difference.
Ingrid, bienvenida.
So, Ingrid, welcome.
El mejor de nuestros deseos
Our
y
best
cuenta
wishes,
con nuestro apoyo.
and you can count on our support.
Gracias.
Thank you. So friends, now we'll start with our assembly, and we're moving on to the next section that has to deal with the accountability of the different committees. I'm gonna have to take the role of our dear friend Pedro Estacio that last minute situation prevented him from being here. Hopefully everything's doing great, but I'm gonna do a brief summary of what we've done in finances that I think has been one of the points where during 2024 and 2025, we had a lot of focus and a lot of work to do, thanks to a great team that Marta Pasternack led until the beginning of this year, and that made a perfect transition, harmonized one, and also very professional, up to the point that Pedro took the role of the chapter leader of the committee, I mean. And this year we'd have the opportunity of making profitable the IAC finances, and this has been through CDs, and that has been very important, has been a milestone in our finances. That's why I mentioned earlier that we can say today that we can say loud and clear that we have solid and stable finances. We've worked a lot on having efficiencies in the payment processes and efficiency in our operational expenses. And this, I believe, has been a seed that Martha planted that today is bearing fruit, and that has put our focus particularly in following that path to create a solid and efficient institution. But also, at this point, we are working on the idea of studying what are those processes that through AI we could make more efficient, and we can, in a way, provide much more important and critical answers that are necessary from the perspective of how the financial evolution of IAC allows us to build in the present and allow us to build the future. So basically, these 3 points have been paramount in the 2025 administration, and I'm absolutely sure that that will continue being the case during 2026. At this point, I want to present in our accountability for the assembly our dear friend Jessica Liu, who is part of our certifications committee for IAC, and who will at this point be presenting the accountability of the certifications committee. Jessica, welcome. Greetings, and since you travel so much, I would like to know in which part of the world you are today.
Actually, I'm in Taipei, my home country.
Okay.
Yeah. So hello, everybody. It's coming to the autumn season, and the certification committee has been working hard for the last year, for 2025, and we will continue on these 3 directions for the next year, 2026. The first one is we are going to improve our online taste for on all different languages. At the moment, we have got the new, we increased the question database, and we also changed some of the translation language. We refine our question quality. So we are waiting for the new platform on our website. When that has done, then we will announce that we're going to probably shut down the online testing for 1 or 2 days so we can take down the old online tests and re-upload the new online tests, the refined one, the better one, better quality one. So we can make sure that during our first phase, first step on the certification in terms of knowledge of our coaching standard, a professional standard, and also our Nair mastery, understanding of all this is properly and fairly tested. Okay, so that's the first things. The second thing is we want to have our step 2, the recording submission, to be more effective or efficient in terms of the length of the turnaround result. So at the moment in our website, we announced that you will have to wait for 16 weeks to be able to get the result, because we want to make sure that every submission recording is properly examined first by 2 examiners, and then after their result, we will look at the 2 different examiners' result, and if there's difference in terms of the result passing, then we will have to get the 3rd one. Or if the 3 are not agreed, then we have to get the 4th one. That's why we sometimes need to have more. We put more time to make sure that we not under promise. But at the moment, we have been working very hard with the examiners meet to make sure that our quality, the scoring are into the standard, and everybody's scoring as close as possible. Of course, there were some subjective scoring, but in that case, we will be able to reduce our turnaround result time. And we have been working and we have been looking at how much time that we have been holding averagely, and we believe next year we are able to reduce that time. I would say probably we can say 12 weeks will be the maximum turnaround time. So that's what we are continue to work on. The 3rd one is actually the new one that started in the middle of this year, that from 2 different language speakers. One is Spanish language speakers, and one is Chinese language speakers, talking about whether we can, whether the mastery practitioner would be able to submit the recording in their native language, in Spanish or in Chinese. At the moment, we are consider this, but we have set our standard, which is in order to make sure our process are going through smoothly and we can, deliver what we promise within 12 weeks, that we will be able to turn around the result. We will have to have at least 4 or more examiner who has the proficiency for the language. So we are now getting more Chinese and getting more Spanish MC levels of coaches. So then through the examiner's training, hopefully, I cannot promise that 2026 we will have 4 Spanish speaking examiner or 4 Chinese speaking examiner, but we are adding up the number, and so if you all the coaches online now, if you're a Spanish speaker or you're a Chinese speaker, please work hard to get to CC level and MC level, so you can be trained as an examiner. Then once we got 4 or 4 more, then we can actually help a lot of our friends who speak the same language of us to be able to save a lot of trouble when submitting the recording, because at that time we will be able to, just recording in Chinese and just use Chinese language to submit for the script. So that will be I think that will benefit so many our friends speaking the same language, and also we will help to make sure our scoring certification process still keep our good standard, quality standard, because this is a valuable certification for all of you. So this is the 3 direction. 2 we have been working quite long time, and next year we should be able to implement it. But the last one, hopefully, maybe 2027. So I'm working on that, and our team, the certification community team, it's all working on that very hard. So thank you very much, and hope to next year I will be able to announce the good news. Thank you. Thank you, Guilian.
Gracias, Jessica, gracias. Y por favor, extiende nuestro
Thank you,
saludo y
Jessica.
nuestra
Thank you, and please,
felicitación a todo el equipo
our
de
greetings and
certificaciones
congratulations to the
a
entire
nombre de todos los miembros de
certifications
IAC.
team on behalf of
Y bueno,
all
como
IAC
somos una
members.
organización
And since
internacional,
we're an
estábamos
international
con Jessica
organization,
en Taipei y ahora nos
we
vamos a
had
ir
Jessica
a
in Taipei,
India
and now
con
we're
nuestra
going to
querida
India with our
Ritu
dear
Mathur, que es
Ritu Mathur,
nuestra
who
actual
is
segunda
our
vicepresidente y que a partir
second
del
vice
1 de
president
enero de
currently, and starting
2026
January
será
1st of
nuestra
2026 will
presidente.
be our
Ritu
president.
además
Ritu
lidera
also
el
leads
Comité de Escuelas
the
Acreditadas de IAC. Sí,
accredited schools
nuestro
committee for
proceso de
IAC.
certificación es una de las grandes
If our
fortalezas de
certification
IAC,
process
y
is
quiero
one
a
of the
todos los
greatest
que están
strengths of
aquí hoy
IAC, and I
presentes
want everyone
desafiarlos
who's present here
positivamente
today to
a
challenge
que
you
hagan su
positively
proceso de certificación,
to go through
que
your
se conviertan
certification
tal como dijo
process,
Jessica
that
en
you
el
become, just as
Certified
Jessica
Coach y
mentioned, in
Master
certified
Coach de la
coaches and
IAC,
master coach of
porque
IAC,
déjenme decirles, va a ser un
because
proceso
let me
interesantísimo
tell you,
donde
it's going to
su
be
valor
a very
profesional no
interesting process
solamente
where
va a
your
aumentar
professional
desde el
value
punto
will
de vista
not only
profesional,
increase
sino
from the
además
professional
desde el
perspective,
punto de vista
but
personal.
also
Y
from the
quiero
personal
decirles que
perspective.
así
I
como
want to
certificación
say
es una
that
fortaleza,
just as
escuelas
certification
acreditadas
is
es
a
otra de
strength,
las fortalezas de
accredited
IAC.
schools is
Entonces,
another of
Ritu,
the
que
IAC
lidera
strengths.
este
So Ritu, who
comité,
leads
nos va a
this
compartir
committee, will be sharing with
nuestras
us
principales
our
objetivos y logros
main
del
objectives and
2025 hacia el
achievements for
2026. Adelante,
2025
Ritu.
to
Ritu
2026. Go
está en
ahead, Ritu.
India, por eso decía que vamos a hacer un
Ritu
viaje
is
de
in India.
Taipei
That's
a
why I
India.
went saying we're going to
Adelante,
move from
Ritu.
Taipei to India. Go ahead, Ritu.
Thank you, Gideon. So I've been part of school accreditation committee for last 3 years, and our core commitment as part of this committee has been to always evolve our relationship with our accredited schools. And this year was the year when we had more volunteer members joining our committee. I would like to mention name of Zunio Crisel and Nancy from China, then recently we had Gianfranco joining our team. Of course, we have had incredible support provided for last several years and continue support from David and Gonzalo. And what has been a significant shift, which we had tried to bring in 2025 from the point of view of this committee has been to establish a dedicated single point of contact. And one thing which we realized was that language plays a big role when it comes to IAC, and we've had different regions posing different challenges, and we decided to have a regionally aligned liaison within the IAC for the schools. So the single point of contact becomes the primary contact for all questions and support, and probably even ensuring personalized and consistent guidance to the accredited schools. So Zunio has been very sporting, and he's been the single point of contact for the Spanish speaking schools. Nancy has been for China, and I've been continuing to support the English speaking schools. And the idea of doing it is that we need to find ways we can develop deeper engagement and regional support for all the accredited institutions. And our goal has been to foster more collaboration and continuous improvement when it comes to the accreditation partnerships that we have with schools. When it comes to our next year's goal, as I said, we would look at continued partnerships, also significantly increase engagements with our school. So beyond the formal, maybe the meetings that we have occasionally, what we have plans for is to host webinar series and virtual forums which focus on best practices, and foster continuous dialogue with the school. So for instance, say there is a school in Chinese China and Greater China region, how is it that they can provide support to each other? Say for instance, a school wants to become accredited, then how can they have a dialogue with accredited schools within the same region? So that's something that we are looking at introducing in 2026. The other thing that we want to do and we want to leverage on our bringing in digital transformation, starting with a new CRM. So we are hoping that by next year, we also introduce an online platform which could look at housing some tools for the accredited schools, which may include some case studies from schools, maybe having moderated discussion forums, or maybe a forum where the schools can interact with each other, and also continue with having maybe quarterly meetings, which may serve as a valuable platform for networking, for sharing regional challenges and solutions, and also offer mentorship or support to the accredited institutions. And our inherent belief in doing this is that this decentralized approach will enhance the collaboration and reach with the institutions and the accredited schools. The other thing that we are looking at is that we are providing more effective and personalized reach to the schools, because sometimes what we've seen is that accreditation is a one-time activity. But how is it that the schools can also support new coaches, or even the existing coaches, enhance membership, even partner with chapters in different regions. So I think it's how, what we are looking at is that how the accredited schools become more involved in the ecosystem and contribute to our members as well as to IAC. So that's our plan for next year. I think a lot of concrete initiatives that some of it is already happening, some of it we plan to launch post our transition to our new CRM. Another thing that we are also looking at is that is how we can support schools in different regions by, for instance, one of the requirements that has come in and we are considering is that how we could have a website for China and Greater China region, which is in Chinese. So, those kind of initiatives are in the pipeline. We are hoping that would also ease out some of the challenges that not only the schools face, but also the members or even those who are looking at becoming certified coaches can get answers to. So thank you very much, Guilian, for giving me this time. So over to you.
Gracias a ti, Ritu. Y tenemos un gran trabajo que
Thank you,
hacer
Ritu,
en
and we
las
have
relaciones con las escuelas,
a lot of work to do in our relations with schools, become more solid, deeper in these relations, and create a true ecosystem of schools, IAC, that allows for more people to be able to go through their certification process and at the same time contribute with the coaching standard in the world to continue elevating. And since we coaches ask questions, I have a question for all of you. You know, you can be a member and part of leadership of IAC. If you would like to contribute with IAC and you're in the States today, if you would like to contribute with IAC and you're seeing this on the third in our YouTube channel, you can send an email to membership@certifiedorg.com and we'll put it in the chat in a minute. And you can put your name in, where you're at, and our memberships team will communicate with you and we'll be able to know what are your inclinations, what would you care to contribute with IAC, and that way we could have your contribution and a much larger team to continue leading IC forward. So I want to invite you, I invite you in the certification path. I invite all of you to want to become part of and become volunteers of IC and provide part of your time and your heart to creating this or continue maintaining this movement that's IAC in action. Now, we're going to another part of the world and we're going to present to you our leader for the memberships committee. Let me tell you, this is another globetrotter. So the first thing I'm going to ask Mr. CJ&G is, in which part of the world are you today? And we're going to hear the accountability and the plans of our memberships team for 2026.
Gracias, Julian. Yes, I am now in Shanghai. Yes, it is. Thank you for this opportunity. The membership committee, basically the main focus is to organize the Experience the Coaching Mastery Series, as you can see from my background. That is the main focus. It's divided into two parts. In the beginning of the year, I think around April-May period, what we'll do is we invite certified coaches or master coaches to take on one or two masteries and share their experiences in those masteries. And the whole idea is that we want to go beyond just getting accredited or certified. We want to know what's out there in the real world, what are the real applications of the various masteries through our certified coaches into the real world with the real clients and coachees. So that's the first part. And the second part is even more meaningful. I think we are running this for the fourth year. It's the peer learning. Basically, we form a triad. That is 3 persons to a group. We have about 12 weeks of activity. There are people who meet weekly, there are people who meet bi-weekly, but basically each session you have a coach, a client, and an observer to practice that coaching. Some people, I think Nancy last year, through one of the sessions, went on to have a recording, and then she became a certified coach as well from China. And um, more to that. Oh, Marcella, you want to say something? Raise hand? No. Okay. More to that is there is this sense of community. Although we try to group people in the same time zones for better coordination reasons, but they can be same time zones, but from different countries, and bonds are built. Um, there is this sense of community fostering. So that is the part on the coaching triads. I want to shout out to give my thanks and appreciation to Marcella and to Gianfranco for taking care of the Spanish-speaking members, which I have no idea how to reach out to them if not for the assistance from Gianfranco and Marcella, who've been very helpful and very supportive in the ETCM for both part one and two. And in the meantime, oh yes, trial coaching is indeed very powerful. Yeah, and we really learn a lot from one another. And the the bigger idea behind it, again, it's I think just to echo what Ritu has mentioned, and to echo what Jessica has mentioned, IAC is more than just a certification platform. Right, association gives out certification. Yeah, that's what we do. But more than that, it's about building a community of coaches that we learn from one another and we grow together. So that is what we strive to do as a membership. We do face a number of challenges as well. We really need volunteers to help in organizing whether it's ETCM or other membership activities for English and the Chinese groups. We do have this year, because of some of our Chinese members who used to be very supportive, but because of personal reasons, have to wind down or turn down part of their activities in the Chinese-speaking world, and as a result, we have less activity from there. So it's an ongoing challenge to invite members and encourage members to be more active, whether it's ETCM or any other membership activity, or even a chapter activities, or even school activities, to really build and strengthen our community. So once again, thank you, Guilian, for inviting me on this. And again, I thank all of you who have helped made ETCM and membership activities a success. Gracias.
Gracias, CG. Y ahora nos vamos a ir a los
Thank
Estados
you, CJ.
Unidos.
And now we're going to the United States, because our dear friend Brian French, who leads the Sustainability Committee for IAC, will provide his accountability presentation for this 2025. Brian, welcome.
Thank you so much, Guilian,
The
and
stage
thank
is
you
yours.
all for being here. Deeply appreciate the support that I felt through this association through the years, and to further honor Martha and Anjali, their involvement, their encouragement helped me to get involved in my journey with IAC, and I'm very grateful that we continue to work together on the sustainability coaching team. So I have the joy and honor of serving as the lead of the team, collaborating with these wonderful team members and listing them in alphabetical order: Anjali Nair, Charlie Marshall Nunu, Ingrid Rosenberg, Martha Pasternack, Olafunke Dina, and Ritu Matur. So thank you each for your contributions. And I'll echo Guilian's invitation. We are always seeking additional people who have a passion for sustainability coaching to join us. And hopefully you would find that it's a very rewarding experience. So if you have an interest, please reach out. So we had a very interesting 2025 year. We have supported each other by sharing our knowledge with each other through our monthly meetings, through our Basecamp collaboration space. And in that space and in our meetings, we share about news, we share about perspectives that create awareness and educate us all on the trends that are happening within the field. A key initiative in 2025 was reviewing and helping to push through the adoption of the updated Sustainability Coaching Coalition Joint Statement. The SCC is the former JGSG, the Joint Global Statement Group on Climate Change. That's a collaborative effort of 13 of the leading coaching psychology, mentoring, and supervision associations around the globe who are dedicated to addressing the sustainability needs of people and planet. And if you were with us on Wednesday of this week for our sustainability session, you heard from many of our team members about the work that we do in collaboration with the SCC. The IAC has been involved with that group since 2020, thanks to Anjali Nair and her outreach and collaborative work with the other representatives of the group. And Anjali invited me to join as a representative in 2022, which was also the time we began the formation of our IAC Sustainability Coaching Team. So our participation with the SCC group has led to the IAC being seen on the same stage as the larger accrediting associations around the world. So it's greatly increased our exposure across the industry while doing good for all living beings. So it's been an extremely rewarding experience. For 2026, the team has been holding strategy discussions over the past couple of months to think about ways that we can enhance the work leading into 2026. We plan to expand the reach of our team in providing more resources and more knowledge transfer to our members. This will be done through a number of projects that we have on the map. First is updating the IAC Sustainability Coaching Toolkit that we put together a couple of years ago. This industry, this facet of the industry changes very quickly. And some of the information is not necessarily outdated, but there's more information, there's newer information to share within the document. So that will be a major project for us in 2026 to update that Sustainability Coaching Toolkit. And again, if you were not with us on Wednesday, where we explained where to find the current version, you can find it in your members portal by logging in, scrolling down a little bit, and you'll see as part of the table, the Sustainability Coaching Toolkit plus replays of the launch session when we introduced the toolkit to give you a guide on how to utilize it within your coaching practice. Also, we do plan on providing a learning circle session as a workshop in 2026 to further the knowledge transfer for our members. We will be promoting the sessions offered by the SCC, the Sustainability Coaching Coalition. As mentioned earlier, we serve as a representative on. I actually volunteered to serve as a volunteer program director in that group as well, thus further increasing our reach through the IAC connection with the rest of the coaching industry. We will be offering to meet with chapters to share about the sustainability coaching work that we do. And Martha Pasternack has graciously volunteered to serve as our representative, as our liaison with the chapters. So if you are part of a chapter, an IAC chapter around the world, please reach out, and Martha will happily meet with you, share about the work that we do, the importance of it, and help you to get involved if you would like to. We'll also be planning on sharing more information through our Voice Bites newsletter, so you can be aware of the work that we're doing. And lastly, we have talked about exploring how we can work more closely with our IAC schools to share about the work of the committee, to share how to incorporate sustainability coaching information within their training programs. So that's just a number of things that we're planning on doing in 2026. Very excited about the opportunity that 2026 brings to us. Thank you, Guilian.
Gracias a ti, Brian. Gracias a ti, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Quiero decir que eso, el
And
comité
I want to
de
say that this sustainability committee is a committee that continuously is exploring new options, new opportunities for everything around sustainability and to keep us up to date on this. I must confess that my awareness, my consciousness about sustainability has grown considerably since the influence of the committee is closer to me. So thank you for everything you do on behalf of IAC. And now we'll continue our trip around the world because we're going to South America. We're going to South America, to Chile, a country where I had the opportunity to live several years, and I had the opportunity to work very close with someone that I appreciate enormously, and probably I'm going to be a very emotional and non-objective presentation. Okay. I'm going to introduce now Miss Carla Cofiño. I met her in the committee in the Venezuela chapter. We both started our career as coaches together. Then Carla went to live to Panama, and when I got to Chile, moved to live there, a few months later, Carla went to Chile, and we started working on the Chile chapter as we had worked with our Venezuelan chapter. Okay, and we made of Chile our home, a country that has received us with open arms. And now we've distanced a little bit again, but I want to say that if anyone puts intensity, joy, and emotion in the things that she does, is Carla. So, Carla, we're going to hear your accountability for 2025 and the plans for 2026 for IAC Communications. Thank you, my dear Guilian. I'm going to take a breath because I am intense and emotional, and events like the ones today really fill me with emotion. Hearing my peers in different parts of the world is one of the things that I most enjoy of being part of IAC, and being able to contribute with my value in communications coordination is part of thanking for everything that IAC has provided me for years as its member in the framework in the masteries in the codes of ethics in the global community, where I have colleagues around the world. So it's always very emotional for me this day, this celebration, and today that we're celebrating not only closure of this week of lifelong learning, but 10 years of this online event that over the past years has been global in 3 languages in connection with the different parts of the world. And I mentioned it in this sense because as a communications committee leader, this is one of these achievements of this 2025, and that the contribution that communication has to do with creating resources, creating the elements that can make visible initiatives like this one that today is a material fact, and that has a lot of work behind it, starting with our great leaders as Guilian, Ingrid Ritu, our ex-co, Catherine, Pedro, our executive committee, and from then on, all of my colleagues of committee leaders like Betsy, Brian, Ritu, Jessica, and from there on, all of our coordinators, because it's a great network of volunteers that makes possible each event like this one today. So from gratitude, I want to mention that this 2025, taking the word from my dear Brian, it's been a very interesting year. And I've taken 3 points of highlight with what I've been able to add and contribute in communications. Always willing to give more, wanting to give more, because communications is across all the organization. And sometimes we feel like we have arms missing to give a lot more. But this year, however, it's been a lot of contributions, and I want to share from 2025. The first point is adding value to our memberships. We did a launch of the new version of our main informational resources for members and followers, now under a new format, the format of bulletin. Our bulletin, IAC Voice Bites, a format that's close, that's structured in 3 valuable pillars. So the pillar of information, education, and inspiration, and that's received by our members, our registered members in their email, and it becomes a great tool because it goes directly in a close, simple, in a short time. We can rescue these 3 pillars. We can inform ourselves, educate ourselves, and inspire ourselves with the knowledge of content created by the editorial team that makes up Voice Byte, member coaches that share their knowledge and trajectory. And if you want to be connected here today, or those that are watching us on the through the recording, if you haven't received this bulletin or want to receive it and get nurtured with all this wonderful work that's done with the multidisciplinary team, we have an invitation. John, our memberships, a member lead, running to communications@certifiedcoach.org. If you're a current member or have been before, I want to invite you to keep that connection active with the email. Currently, the email platforms are cleansed and curated, and sometimes you don't receive information, so it's important to check all of your folders of spam, of unwanted email. And if you find an email from the International Association of Coaching, mark it as not spam, move it to your main folder and register. We're going to be able to have you in our followers and with part of our community, so you receive all the valuable content that we are generating. Special thanks in this launch for my dear and admired dear Catherine Miller, our executive director, who is the mastermind and very detailed in checking those elements in her native voice in English, in going over these elements, and also with my other Chinese-speaking colleagues. They can do the proofreading and cleanup so the content comes out in the 3 main languages. Another of the great actions of great value we added to our members, to the membership that are part of our members, has been accompaniment in communications with value initiatives, as mentioned by my dear CJ. Experience the Coaching Masteries, ETCM, by its acronym, an exclusive program for members that is designed in 2 phases, the peer group and the coaching triads, and be able to accompany you with the graphic resource, with content resources, reminders, and emails. Is one of our main objectives for our members to keep or maintain themselves informed and be part of this development initiative for masteries in practice. In 2025, we were able to maintain our consistency with our global brand, provide support to our leaders, with our volunteers, with coordinators, with what was included in the communication resource kit, or better known as our kit for communication resources that we update annually, our corporate presentation, our content portfolios organized to keeping our graphic resources and content, so all volunteers can extend it to chapters, to members, and our brand continues being present. In the same way, also we added video formats, educational carousels, informational carousels in our social media. So additionally to sharing events and activities that we're at, we can inform and educate our audience of what we're doing and what we are in IAC. And our third point of 2025, the operational capacity, something that was highlighted and made it possible, this communication work, because we've had a volunteer team that has been reduced to different projects. It's been this capacity to implement successfully the use of AI for translating and validating content, to do it faster, to review and have program the existence of AI for English, Spanish, and traditional Chinese content. This process that we can call to train the IC AI has been paramount to escalate operations and allow us to have activities like this today with Quo Vadis, with the mass emails, with reminders, and also with presence in social media. And to finalize for 2026, we're looking to continue propelling our brand first in increasing our scope is what we want, reaching more people, continue growing our subscription base, that a lot of people are subscribed to our emails, and continue sending emails so they can get nurtured from information that we have in IAC. Continue and escalate content production, like I say, going deeper and not only human volunteer with the voice of the human IAC that characterizes, but also using AI for speed in reviewing content and translations. And the last point, the transition and legacy of leadership, because my objective is to guarantee that this that has been done, documenting processes, graphic resources, optimization, use of AI, and serving all of our global community can also be a legacy for new generations that I can transition to new people. So the invitation is that today the communication committee has documented processes that had a virtual assistance team, without which it wouldn't be possible to do all the work that we do. And I would publicly want to thank today, and then we can continue providing volunteers to our members and our followers a consistent and humane brand, because what's behind IAC, what you see in social media and emails, is hands and hearts working strongly, so you get to know what we are and what we do as the home of the coaching masteries and the certifying entity of excellence in coaching. Thank you very much, Carly. A big and extensive hug to Tomas and baby Aaron. Okay, friends, and now we're going to cross the ocean and we're going to Europe. Actually, we're going to Spain, where I am, and just 200 kilometers away from my home, we have a person that has been transcendental in everything we've done recently in terms of technology in IAC, and particularly in this space of Quo Vadis coaching, organizing the technological aspects. I'm going to present you Ms. Giselle Parra Montenegro. Welcome, Giselle.
Gracias, Guilian. Gracias por acá, pues,
Thank you, Guilian. Thank you from here, from Spain. And well, very excited with all this week of events that we've been backstage and with today. Continue with everything that we'll be presenting today. First off, I want to thank those that invited me to be part of IAC within the committee, Anjali and Guilian, and all of those that in one way or another have been working, like Marta, Catherine, Carla, everyone, all members of EXCO, of prior EXCO and the new one. And from then on, to everyone that are still not part of IAC family, I want to invite you, as Guilian said, dear Guilian, to be part of IAC. I also came into this beautiful family from an accredited school in IAC Venezuela. Then I became part of the committee, and that way I've been creating career and connecting with my passion for serving, for coaching, and creating a family with value that I profess of IAC. And to continue with within the technology committee, first off, focused on this part of leading the transformation, and that we can be digitally human. And from there, one of the achievements we've obtained in this 2025 has been not only being digitally human, but we've been working intensively in the transformation and the governance, digital governance, focused on keeping the digitally human focus that theorizes our members, that prioritizes our members and security, and the user experience that's each day better. One of the greatest achievements after many conversations and analysis is that now we have approved our change in the CRM to Soho Suite. It's a great achievement, a lot of work that has been done thanks to all of the executive committee and all of the members of BOG to be able to have this transition from a CRM that we've been using Skip to a Soho that's a lot more robust and will provide us a lot of benefits, which will be started to be implemented starting the second week of November. But that's not all. I've loved also having improvements and synergies with different committees, as the telecommunications committee with our dear Carla. We've been working on improving the magazine, the IAC Boys, the magazine with which this will allow us to have a better look and feel and truly have the user and the members be able to enjoy that great content of value that is extensive in a practical and agile way, and that can enjoy it thoroughly. On the other hand, also improving everything related to YouTube, so you can now see all of the content in a more organized way and with an intention. All of this we've been able to do it with the support of communications to unify, to improve the processes of our official channels, and I'm delighted to be able to add my grain of salt to that. Also, we've been working on the customer journey, which is this path of all of our members in our different artifacts and digital assets, as is the webpage, the channels, and social media. We've been doing internal work continuously to analyze and improve this customer journey for our members also in their platforms. And finally, and really it's the beginning, it's this 2026 vision where I know we're going to have a lot of significant improvements, both in platforms as well as a vision connected with cybersecurity, an 2026 AI future where we want to work in process automation with artificial intelligence, with the intention of being more efficient and productive without losing our human side. In terms of cybersecurity, this is very important because we actually, since I started being Anjali president, we've been working in everything related to security for the platform of the environments of IAC as the platforms and hosting. However, when we talk about cybersecurity, we're not only committing ourselves, and it's not only us responsible as an entity, but also the invitation is to each one of the members that interact with the said platform to have safety protocols and cybersecurity protocols to be able to guarantee the safe environment, so you can take care of what we call digital footprint. From there, security continues to be a fundamental pillar. And this last year, cybersecurity involves us all. So let's continue working on that. Another thing that I want to share with you is in IAC, our transformation, our digital transformation has a purpose, which is to empower our human connection, to empower coaching connected with what's human, and not leaving aside this sensitivity that each one of us has. And now to close, I've spoken with a lot of people, even colleagues, about the fact of having the prompt that is this instruction for AI to be able to answer us properly, and that it doesn't hallucinate what we talk about technically. However, beyond creating the best prompt in the world, let's remember that the human potential is infinite, and that we should use all the tools as coaches, because to be able to have the best answer of AI, we need to learn to make the best questions. So I want to invite you not to continue just looking to understand AI, but to focus inwards to understanding ourselves, what we want, why we want it, and what do we want to reach. Sound familiar? In AI, it's the same thing. So from there, I invite you all to make connections, to expand potential, and become digitally human, and not just stay in the past, but jump now to this new transformation, this digital transformation of the organization, of the members, and of each of the people in the world that we inhabit. Thank you, Nan. At your service for anything. And thank you, Giselle. Well, friends, before saying farewell, I want to thank again the entire volunteer teams of IAC that has contributed with Quo Vadis coaching. I also want to ask the committee leaders that have made their accountability this afternoon, in the case of Spain, that you broadcast our words of encouragement and congratulations to each of the members of the committee, that you transmit the gratitude and our respect for the work that each of you do in the different committees. Thank you all, and now I invite you to open your cameras so we can take our final picture of the event. Thank you for having joined us. I remind you that in the chat we have the email memberships@certifiedcoach.org and communications@certifiedcoach.org, so you can manifest your will of becoming volunteer members of IAC. One thing is being a member of IAC, another thing is a volunteer member of IAC. Believe me, it's a voyage, a trip, and a great opportunity to serve, which is where leadership starts serving. Thank you all for joining us. Giselle, in your hands, the photograph and everything that continues until the end. Thank you. Smiling photograph for everyone. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much for participating.
The International Association of Coaching. Home of the coaching masteries.